Hello and welcome to ARIRANG News. It's Wednesday, September 28th here in Korea. We've already entered the third day of a parliamentary audit, but things aren't going so well, with Korea's rival parties still blaming each other for the deadlock at the National Assembly. For details, we have our Chi Myung-gil on the line from Parliament. So Myung-gil, are there any signs of a breakthrough?
Hello, Town. Well, the ruling Plenary Party is standing its ground, insisting it will only resume its participation in parliamentary affairs when Assembly Speaker Chung Se-kyun steps down. The party says Chung, who is supposed to be politically neutral, favored the opposition parties ahead of a recent vote on a motion to dismiss President Park Geun-hye's pick for Agriculture Minister. The ruling party plans to hold a rally inside the parliament in just about an hour. However, there are also some moderate ruling party lawmakers who say the boycott should end, as it runs counter to their duty as lawmakers. The main opposition Minju Party of Korea has condemned the ruling party for the boycott, accusing it of destroying parliamentary democracy. And the floor leader of the minor opposition People's Party, Park Ji-won, said he has met with his counterparts from the Saenuri and Minju parties to try and break the impasse.
Thank you, Myung-gil. Keep us posted throughout the day. North Korea has reportedly stated that it has successfully completed the process of developing its nuclear weapons program. The claim was made on Tuesday through a press release from the North Korean embassy in Russia. According to the Russian news agency that received it, the North says its September 9th nuclear test was to confidently display its completion of a nuclear weapons development. The embassy also claims North Korea can now mass-produce different warheads for various purposes and will continue to take measures to build up its nuclear forces to protect its sovereign dignity. Russia's permanent representative to the United Nations in Vienna, Vladimir Voronkov, cautiously suggested the statement might indicate Pyongyang could stop testing warheads. A new anti-graft law has taken effect in Korea. The government hopes the law will root out corruption in Korean society and open up a new era of zero tolerance to irregularities among public officials. Park Jong-hong tells us more.
The new law is the government's most extensive anti-corruption measure yet. Known widely as the Kim Young-lan Law, named after a former Supreme Court justice who proposed the regulation, it will affect officials in government as well as those in the education, media, and a wide range of sectors. Under the law, at least 4 million people working in those fields are banned from accepting meals costing more than $27, gifts exceeding $45, and congratulatory or condolence money over $90. When their job calls for having meals with people, they'll be required to go Dutch and decline offering favors in exchange for cash or other benefits. Those who receive money or gifts exceeding 1 million won, or roughly $910 at a time, and 3 million won, or slightly over $2,700 in a year, from anyone related to their work will be charged with violating the law. The government hopes the anti-corruption law will bring more transparency and eradicate corrupt behavior in the country. Advocates of the law say the transparency will improve Korea's competitiveness in the global arena. But critics say implementing the new law may be easier said than done. They claim the law will have an impact on domestic consumption, especially in the entertainment, food, and retail sectors. Park Jong-hong, ARIRANG News.
Today is the second day of a subway and rail strike in Korea, but passenger services appear to run relatively smoothly during the morning commute. Freight train services, however, are taking a hit, and the government has called for an end to the walkout. Lee Min-young brings us the latest.
Korea's subway and railway workers are in the second day of a strike against the government's adoption of a performance-based pay system. It's the first subway and railway strike in 22 years. According to an estimate released by the Transport Ministry on Wednesday, nearly 40% of co-rail workers are participating in the walkout, while subway companies' labor unions had a high participation rate. Almost half of all workers with Seoul Metro, which operates subway lines 1 through 4, and one-third of the workers with Seoul Metropolitan Rapid Transit, which runs subway lines 5 through 8, have walked off the job. Even with the walkout, subway and rail services ran as usual during rush hour on Wednesday morning, and subway companies have vowed to keep services at normal levels during the morning and evening commute. Off-peak subway services will run at about 80% of normal capacity, and regular train services will only run at 60%, but KTX bullet train services will operate at the usual levels. The Seoul city government had announced Tuesday that it had enough temporary workers to fill the gaps left by striking workers, and the city plans to dispatch hundreds more to subway stations this week. Freight train services took a direct hit from the strike, triggering concerns about a massive logistical disturbance. Freight operations have dropped to 26% of normal levels, and the shipping volume has shrunk to less than half of normal capacity. Korea's finance minister on Wednesday called the ongoing strikes, including a walkout by unionized workers at Hyundai Motor, selfish, and called for them to end, saying the general public will be affected. Korail has dismissed 100 workers who it says led the walkout and announced that it is considering whether to take disciplinary action against other strike participants. Lee Min-young, ARIRANG News.
That does it for now. I'll be back with more headlines at 4 p.m. Korea time. See you then.